All right, what's up, you guys? Hope you guys are doing well. So today is December 10th. I'm gonna be going over my trade recap for today. I had two losses. I did actually ended up recording a full 10-minute video of my trade recap, but unfortunately, for some reason, my OBS completely reset and my mic was on full volume, so it sounded like a clear ear rape on here. But anyway, I'm gonna just restarting the whole thing. Going over the trade recap, we had two losses for today. One of them was an A plus setup, which I'm not mad about this trade. I'm pretty upset with this trade, and I'm going to go over that in just a second. But going over the daily bias per usual, if you look at the 4-hour time frame, we could see that we have this 4-hour bearish inverse fair value gap. So price went up, creating this fair value gap, and then we continued lower to create this inverse fair value gap, closing below it. Great sign. We're going to continue lower if we retrace back into it. Sure enough, we also have this equilibrium. The equilibrium price is right above the 4-hour fair value gap equilibrium. So perfect discount. Great confluences. We're going to continue lower. So I'm going to continue to the 1 minute time frame. So this first trade, like I said, I'm not really upset about, only because it went in my direction later on. It went with my bias. I went with my plan and all that kind of stuff. So going over it, we had this 5 minute inverse fair value gap. So market open, we created this 5 minute fair value gap. We retraced back, created an inverse fair value gap, and then I saw price retrace back into this inverse fair value gap, which unfortunately it disrespected and continued higher. But this would have been a good A plus setup that we're going to continue lower, because first off, we are in this 4-hour fair value gap equilibrium, and we also swept all of these highs right here, and we have this lower time frame confluence. So unfortunately, it just continued higher, disrespecting this inverse fair value gap, but it's okay. Now for the second trade that I took, it was not in my favor, only because I went against my own bias. Obviously, if I took this trade, I would have been completely fine with my bias. But unfortunately, I don't really know what went through my head. I decided to take shorts for some reason, targeting these highs right here. I originally thought that we're gonna, continue higher, sweeping out these highs and then continuing lower, just so we could push ES to go a little bit higher to sweep more liquidity. But as you can see, we already swept all of this at that same point right here. So I don't really know what was going through my head at this time. For some reason, I wanted to take a quick scalp trade to gain more liquidity, but unfortunately, it just when it ended up going in my direction originally that I wanted to. As we could see, the reason why I entered off of, we created this inverse fair value gap. Price retraced back into this bearish fair value gap, and I was expecting it to go higher, but unfortunately, it didn't. Not mad about it. Just a little bit upset that I even took that trade. But the way I should have taken this is, we saw that we have this continuation to the downside, and we have this bearish fair value gap right here. See price right here. What I should have done is completely switched it, go from probably over here to have my stop loss above at these highs right here, and then continue lower to have my original take profit all the way down here. So obviously, as you can see, boom, no problem. Great trade. It would have worked out really well. This would have been a 1 to 3.8 trade. Super fire trade. I just don't know what really went through my head. Obviously, I'm going to learn from this, not make the same kind of mistakes again. Pretty upset with myself, but it's okay. We're going to learn from it and not make the same mistake again. I did also want to go over the fact that stocks have been trading phenomenally lately. As you can see on NVIDIA, we swept all of these lows and continued higher. We made we made a fair value gap right after market open and retraced back into it. Continued higher to take out some internal resting buy side liquidity, then to continue lower. I didn't take this trade, but I was looking at it. And then also, if you look at, I believe it was on Amazon, we have a great A plus setup as well. We swept all of this resting in liquidity. We continued higher, creating a fair value gap, and then retracing back into it. If I took it, I would have been in drawdown a little bit, and then continued higher to take out some of these internal resting liquidity right here. So obviously, I'm gonna start trading more contracts, or options contracts, I should say. If you look at my older videos from the past when I first started this YouTube channel, there were some trades in there that I did take off of options contracts. And I honestly took a break for a little bit because I wanted to focus mainly on trading futures. Um, but I think I'm going to start heading back into trading option contracts just because the price action for these have been phenomenal lately. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for today. I did also want to show you guys this IWM trade. Super easy A plus setup. We've been seeing really good A plus setups lately throughout this month of December. Usually December has been pretty ass. The last 2 Decembers that I traded have been complete dog shit, but we are seeing pretty good price action lately. So obviously it's only 10 days into December. But anyway, we see that we swept all of this resting liquidity from sell side over here. We created a inverse fair value gap on the 3-minute time frame. We retrace back into it, bounce around a little bit, chopped, creating more liquidity, and then continuing higher to slap these highs right here. So super easy setup. I'm definitely going to start looking back into trading option contracts and stuff like that. But yeah, those are the 2 trades that I lost for today, only because one of them was with my Confluence. I'm not really upset with this one, but this one is the one that I could have taken. But yeah, so that's it for today. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.